I'm just so stinking excited to bring you episode 2 in our Iconically Wisconsin series. Kwik Trip really has become not only a real Wisconsin and like Midwest staple and icon, but like it has a cult following.
Mm-hmm.
Fight Kwik Trip fans on anything regarding Kwik Trip, and you'll lose. We love it. So we thought the best person to talk to was actually, and we joked so much if we had to like blur your face out, warp your voice, we had to talk to the person behind the social media and the person who really, I think, helps with that strong cult following for Kwik Trip, Page 40. Paige, welcome to the cabin.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited. We feel like we have like insider information just knowing what your face looks like. Oh my gosh. So to get things started, can you give us just a little background on Kwik Trip, like where it started, when did it start, like when was the first Kwik Trip, founded, all that kind of fun stuff?
Yeah, so our first store was built in 1965, so we've been, established for over 50 years. And from there, we expanded, into the La Crosse area and then into all of Wisconsin and then Iowa and Minnesota. So most recently, Illinois, too. So when it
we heard about
started,
that, yeah.
I believe there were 2 owners at first, and then around 2000, Don Zietlow took over as CEO, sweetest man you'll ever meet. So that's kind of a little bit of the background. I don't know if I'm the best person to speak to the entire history of Kwik Trip, but that's what I know.
So Kwik Trip is headquartered in La Crosse. Where was the first was it in La Crosse, the first one, or?
The first one was in Eau Claire.
Eau Claire, oh, okay.
All right. Nice. Is there like a fun plaque in there, like we are the first Kwik Trip?
I don't know if it's around anymore, if I'm being honest.
No. Oh.
Well, they probably rebuilt it.
It kind of looked like a house. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of it, but it was yellowish and yeah.
And Susan was particularly excited to have you on the show because part of her favorite brand seems to be all of the savagery and the joking tweets and social media presence. So she was especially excited to have you here.
For sure. Because Paige, I would love for you to talk about that because, like you said, you started it as an intern at Kwik Trip, correct?
Correct.
I mean, I think it's really difficult, especially when you have a large brand, to really nail down one cohesive brand voice and one that people could identify, like even if you covered up the logo, the name on the tweet. How did you guys go about creating the, and as Dave said, savage brand on social media that you guys have?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first came on the team in January of 2019, we mainly, approached Twitter with that savagery. It was kind of this thing that brands started to do once, Wendy's became really popular for it. They were kind of the OG of making, savage tweets and coming at people. So when I came on the team, that was definitely something that stood out to me. At that time, Instagram was definitely getting into that humor aspect, but it was mainly, about the aesthetic, about the photos, about pretty food photos, pretty, pictures of our stores, stuff like that. And what we discovered is, as we tried to incorporate more of that humor on Instagram, it took off. It started doing really well. And we actually were very animate to bring that to Facebook for a while there. I don't know if you've seen our Facebook, 2018 and prior, but it was mainly promotional content, special butter deals and, certain promo coupons and stuff like that. And then we actually saw through our third-party platforms, so that brings in all the mentions, all the comments, all the DMs. A lot of people were sending us this Star Wars meme, and I don't know if you guys recall it, but it was of someone from Star Wars on a tauntaun. I had to look up this term to describe the meme appropriately. And it was, snow everywhere, and it said, "I'm going to Kwik Trip, does anyone need anything?" And it was perfect timing because it was during a huge blizzard in 2019. Oh, yeah. So I just kept seeing that coming in, and people were like, "You need to post this," and I kept seeing my friends posting it, and I'm like, okay, we're just gonna post it, what can the harm be? And people loved it. We saw a huge follower spike. And if you look back at our demographics back then, it was mainly geared towards, 50 plus. And we started to, throw out a meme every month or so and then every week. And now that's, I mean, the majority of our content is funny memes, statuses, stuff like that. You saw that demographic shift a little bit, so we did get to target that younger audience with the humor. So from there, it's just kind of been, learning every day what works best on most platforms. We were, hesitant to put memes on Instagram because they aren't aesthetically pleasing, but we eventually, threw those out there. We were scared to put our own tweets on Instagram because we were like, maybe that's weird to put our own tweets and put it in a graphic and throw it on Instagram, but we've just kind of learned along the way what works best where. So that does allow us to kind of cross post. You mentioned how hard it is to kind of get that cohesive brand voice. And I think we've really established that in the past couple of years, just kind of making sure that people know it's Kwik Trip's voice.
Okay, we want to also talk about the fact that Kwik Trip has become, it's obviously a Wisconsin staple. It's a Wisconsin company, again, based in La Crosse. But we do have to talk about the fact that you did expand into Illinois, and we had to cease on our, Chicago jokes. So what did that feel like?
That was like half of my content. No, so we do think it's okay to poke fun sometimes, between states, that kind of banter. But yeah, we don't come to Illinois quite as much anymore. I guess the fact that it's Quick Stars there, we probably could get away with it. But yeah, that we did like making fun of Illinois, especially with that Mean Girls post a couple years ago.
Oh,
the None
yes.
for Gretchen Wieners.
Bye. Oh my gosh. So do you know, not that this is your control, but does Kwik Trip have more plans to expand, not just more stores, but into more states, cover more of the Midwest, anything like that?
Yeah, so all of our facilities are based out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. So we actually, pride ourselves on getting things to the store, same day, a day after. Our milk is actually, any jug of milk that you see in our stores is typically 24 hours from being in a cow. That's how quickly it moves.
Wow.
Holy cow.
So we...
Oh, God, I didn't even mean it like that. No pun intended.
Yeah, so we definitely plan to, add in more locations in Wisconsin, Iowa, and Minnesota. But eventually we're thinking, the UP and the Dakotas. So that's kind of our next area, and then Illinois.
So Paige, what's
yeah.
your favorite Kwik Trip food?
I actually put a tweet out about this the other day. It's probably the most boring thing ever, and I make fun of it all the time. It's just a plain chicken sandwich. No toppings, no nothing. Something about a plain chicken sandwich. It's always been my favorite. But the fried chicken is a close second, and the spicy chicken penna take-home meal is close third.
Yeah, the take-home meals, I haven't really dived into many of those yet, but they look so delicious, and people just take those home left and right. It's that becomes your dinner, your cooking.
Those plain chicken sandwiches hold a special place in my heart too, because I remember growing up, there was a couple summers where just the entire summer we would just bike around with my friends, and it was always we would meet up at someone's house, we would all bike to Kwik Trip, get an energy drink, get a couple chicken sandwiches, bike back home, and then be home by dinner to eat again. But it was every single day we would be at Kwik Trip.
Oh my gosh. Well, so
what is yours?
Well, so here's what's really hard, right? I dominantly live in Door County, which has no Kwik Trips. If I ever actually am eating at Kwik Trip, it's usually breakfast as I'm road tripping it down to the office. So it's the croissant breakfast sandwich. That thing is tasty.
Which one? The sausage, egg, and cheese?
Yeah.
That's mine too.
That's so good.
I like the bagel sandwiches.
The bagel sandwiches? It's usually, if I'm eating at Kwik Trip, it's usually breakfast. For that reason
It's a great
alone.
place for breakfast.
I know. I'm just saying, so I haven't explored other meal options. But isn't there, Paige, and I feel like I only saw this on a TikTok, but isn't there also Kwik Trip inside of Kwik Trip?
What?
There is.
Quickception?
There is.
Quickception!
Quickception. Yeah, that was actually the first thing I noticed when I came in to interview. I walked in the lobby, and I'm like, no one has told me about this. It was blowing my mind, and I was not even thinking about the interview because I'm there's a Kwik Trip in the Kwik Trip headquarters. This is amazing. This is just right here in La Crosse. It's something that you never think of. So that's when we decided to kind of promote that and show that on our socials because people just think it's so crazy. No one really knew about it until we kind of showed it off a little bit. And it is open to the public. So you can go to the Kwik Trip inside the Kwik Trip.
Nice.
I thought that would just be like a fun. I thought that was just like a fun perk for those who like worked there. That this is like your exclusive inside headquarters. Quickception.
I like the Quickception idea though. That's
Paige. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come hang with us at the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Thank you for having me. See you next time.
See you next time.
See you next time.